There's going to be a delay.
Hi, welcome to Let's Go Now Live Season 1, Episode 4. Our topic today is, should you buy a new or used RV? Stay tuned to the end where we will walk you through our decision-making process on how we decided to choose the RV that we went with. We are John and Holly with Let's Go Now Adventures, and thank you so much for joining us today. Yeah. You know, our goal is to help you have a fun outdoor camping experience, to create some lifelong memories, and to help increase your camping confidence so that you can have a better experience when you're out camping.
So join our family. We do Let's Go Now Live, our live stream show. It's every Saturday afternoon at 4 p.m. Then also throughout the week on YouTube, we release videos. Those sorts of videos are like camping kitchen recipes, camping skills and techniques that you can use to make your camping confidence, increase your camping confidence and make your experience better. We also do product reviews and destination reviews. So we review those campgrounds. So you let us try them before you go out and try them. So make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so you're notified when we do all of that.
So just a quick update on our truck. If you watched our live last week, you know that we were on our last week camping adventure and our engine blew. So no engine in the truck. So we got it in, got it fixed. We thought it was being fixed this entire week and we were ready to go on another adventure this weekend. We try to go camping each weekend and be at a different location. However, they called us yesterday and they went to deliver the engine, but the engine never made it off the truck. And we're in Salt Lake City and now our engine is in Boise, Idaho. So we're just waiting for the engine to come back to Salt Lake and then be put in the truck. So that's why we're in the studio today.
So anyway, as part of that little fiasco with our truck engine breaking, we ended up having to change some camping plans.
Yeah.
And so we had to cancel some reservations and at the last minute create some brand new ones. So what we did is we used the same resources that Holly refers to in a couple of her videos, and I'll link that right up here, is that we were able to get camping on a very, very short notice. And so that we found that you can do this too, that just get on Reserve America or recreation.gov, and there's plenty of places to go. Now, you may not get into the camping ground or the campground that you really wanted or the campsite, but there's so many new campsites and campgrounds that you can get into. And you know what? We're going to be going to some new campgrounds that are new to us. And that's kind of an adventure. It's kind of exciting to see what those are like, to see what that kind of adventure brings.
So bottom line, and we just found out ourselves, is if you don't have your reservation, there are still plenty out there. So don't let that discourage you.
So anyway, let's get into the show. You've decided to buy an RV. That's a big decision.
Yeah.
And sometimes people, when they're faced with big decisions, get bogged down on the details and want to go over it again, or anyway, so much so that they don't act.
Yeah.
So it's really important that we don't get that far, and hopefully we can take some time to help work out at least one of those, and that is new versus used. So a couple of things that we have always said at Let's Go Now Adventures is do with what you can do now.
Yeah.
So go camping, get the RV that you can afford, that you can get into now. Go ahead and start making those memories today. Because if you don't, all those memories that you could have been making, they're just not going to be there. They'll be lost. And it's not about going out, when you're talking about an RV, it's not about going out and experiencing the RV. The RV merely becomes a part of the experience of your camping or your travel. So keep that in mind and keep that perspective.
Very important.
So there's a lot of things to consider when you're going to buy an RV. Just some thoughts is how many people will be using the RV? How many people do you have to sleep? Or how many guests do you think you might have to entertain at any time on the inside of that RV? What kind of places will you want to take your RV? Will you always be on paved roads? Or will you be going down a lot of dirt roads or some rougher terrain? How much time will you be in your RV? Do you go camping 2 or 3 times a summer? Or you plan on going full time and touring the country? Another question is, what's your level of comfort to be in the outdoors? What creature comforts do you require your RV to bring with you so that you can be comfortable when you're out camping? And then this is my thing, is how much stuff do you like to take? I'm guilty of taking a lot of stuff.
We both are guilty.
And then the other thing is, what type of RV are you going to be using? Is it going to be a motor home? Will it be a travel trailer, a bumper pole, fifth wheel, or a pop-up? All of those are RVs. They're good choices. They're all valid, but we need to decide that at some point. But one thing too is, now the big topic of today's show is, should you buy new or used?
So from the list that John just mentioned, those will give you some things to think about before making your RV purchase. And we'll be actually addressing each one of those topics in our future videos. But today, for today's show, let's talk about new versus used.
So I'm going to ask a couple of questions. Now, just keep your answers to yourself. And there are no right or wrong answers. So this is just some questions that we'd like you to think about, answer for yourself, that will help kind of guide you into whether or not new or used will be the way for you to go.
Yeah.
So the first question is, how are your finances?
Second one, are you the kind of person that needs the most up-to-date, greatest gadgets, or are you okay just with whatever?
Next question, what's your family's level of comfort?
How handy are you? Can you fix things?
And do you trust your own instincts? Are you able to do some research? How confident are you in your ability to identify what's a good RV and what's not a good RV?
Right. And are you ready to buy your RV now, or is it going to be a future purchase?
All right, so
if you're new to RVing, new or used, there's many accessories and add-ons that you will want to purchase. The actual cost of the camping trip may increase because of the maintenance, the insurance, even the gas, and possibly maybe even upgrading to a tow vehicle. So let's start out and let's cover the actual pros of getting a new RV. So starting out, and ba-bam, of course with anything, it's new, it's shiny, it smells good, it's yours.
that's right. I mean, who doesn't like a new car and, you know, a new bicycle, but especially a new RV sitting in the driveway? You can be proud. Or pulling into the campground, you back that thing in and it's shiny, it's new. Everything about it, it's great.
When you buy a new RV, you have the latest and greatest gadgets and the tech packages. It comes with, what else do they come with?
Oh, solar. They can have the power jacks and the power awnings and generators built in even.
Yeah.
So all those features are available on new RVs if you choose.
When you buy a new RV, you're less likely to need repairs or get upgrades, at least not too soon.
That's right. I mean, most of the things, if you consider it, like those appliances are new. So in theory, you shouldn't have any problem with them. So
right. When you buy new, nowadays the RVs are made much lighter than the older RVs.
yeah, the technology is pretty cool. And today they have materials that are lighter, but just as strong, if not stronger, than we used before. So let's say on a 30-foot RV, you can save 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Well, that may mean the difference on which kind of truck you can pull that trailer with. Or it may mean that you can take 300 pounds more gear.
There you go.
So.
And then, of course, it comes with a basic warranty, and you can kind of call that a pro.
Yeah, it's a basic warranty. But, you know, the salesperson's going to use that. They want to make sure that you're covered a little bit, but it is a basic warranty.
So moving on, let's talk about the cons of buying a new RV. And number one is just obvious. It will cost you more money to get started, more money for everything.
That's right. So, of course, the ticket of the rig you're buying is going to be higher because it's new. But there's some allied costs that go along with that. So consider, if you're financing a higher cost vehicle, your finance charges over the life of the loan are going to be more. You're going to pay more in interest over a 12-year loan. Second is that you're insuring a higher value vehicle, so the replacement cost is higher, thereby your insurance premiums will be higher. So those are just a couple of considerations to add on. Remember also that the RV is just the beginning. So there's things that you need, and Holly mentioned this earlier, hoses, accessories, things like that you absolutely need to be able to function in your RV. So make sure you budget for that as well.
So another con of buying a new RV is it loses value the second you drive it off the lot.
That's right. So that new RV that you're buying, as soon as you drive it off the lot, it becomes a used RV.
Right. So the new RV, it could still require some repairs. Now, of course, you're thinking it's all brand new, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everything is going to work, unfortunately.
Yeah, so you still may have some issues with electrical systems or whatnot that you have to take it back into the shop. There's also what they call lot rot. And what lot rot is if your rig was built in, it's still new, it hasn't left the dealership, but it's been sitting in the same spot. It hasn't been moved regularly around the dealer's lot. So it's sitting on those tires in the same position and maybe being exposed to UV radiation from the sun. Well, those tires can be compromised, and anybody who's pulled a trailer before or had, that much weight riding on a motorhome knows that if you do have a blowout on the road, that it's a little bit more significant. So we always keep really a close eye on our tires.
Tires, definitely. Another con is, after that initial investment, you may find that you don't necessarily like the floor plan or like the things that your trailer came with.
I think a lot of people, when they go out and buy an RV, they think, well, we must have this and we must have this. Well, even just in a few short, trips, we've discovered that some of the features we thought we must have, we don't even use.
Not at all. Another thing is you may find that even though you just bought your RV, you may still need to purchase some upgrades.
That's right. There are things that you may have chosen not to have as optional accessories or things put on at the time of purchase that you decided we can wait and do that. Well, if you do wait, those are also going to be added on at some point. You may choose, after you see the latest and greatest light kit for your awning at the trade show, that you have to have that. Well, there's another $100 that you're going to be putting on. So you need to keep that in mind.
Right. And another con is you will probably need to purchase an extended warranty.
That's right. So as I was kind of alluding to a moment ago, is the basic warranty package covers basics. An extended warranty package, they're going to be different, so I'm just speaking generally, but will cover all your appliances now, or the electrical system, or it will cover things like the furniture that's in the trailer. So that's that extended warranty, if you're choosing to go the warranty route, that you're actually going to need to really cover yourself.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the pros with buying a used RV. Now, of course, the most obvious is, one, it'll be less expensive.
That's right. You're going to save thousands of dollars because, as I said a minute ago, as soon as you take that new RV off the lot, it becomes a used RV, and thereby that first buyer of the new RV absorbs the depreciation. Well, if you're buying a used RV, you take advantage of that. And so you're going to save money, and each year that the RVs that you're getting is a little bit older, you're going to save more and more money. So it's great to find that sweet spot, something that's depreciated but still relatively new.
Let the first buyer of the RV take that huge downfall of that depreciation, and then you come in and buy the RV where you're not losing anything. It's just a good way to go. Another thing is your insurance premiums will be much less.
Just the same reason we spoke about with the newer ones. You have less value in your rig, less to insure.
Right. Okay, so by spending less money by purchasing your RV, you will be able to budget for the accessories that you're now finding that you do need. And
make sure that you do understand that there are things that are not sold with a new RV that you think would be sold, things that make the RV work, but you're going to have to pick those up.
Right. You know, and a lot of people nowadays actually buy a used RV with the whole intention of renovating their used RV.
That's right. Now, this isn't for everybody, but they buy the RV, they gut the whole thing, but then they rebuild it up exactly how they want it. Now, that's a project, and that's for a special kind of person, not me.
So another pro would be for less money, you can actually go out and try your RV.
That's right. We've kind of alluded to this on the other ones, but a used RV, you're spending less money. So, and you may, if you're financing or your intent may be to keep that RV for 3 years or 5 years, well, you can use that 3 or 5 year period as a tryout period. Well, we'll try out, we'll see, okay, do I actually have enough beds in the RV? Do I really need more or do I need less? Do I need those recliners, or would a good chair work a little bit better? Do I need the 2 air conditioners in the rig, or just is one going to be more than adequate?
To me, that's the beauty of buying a used RV, is you can test it out. You can see what you need, what you like, what you don't need. It's so useful. So then when you do go to purchase, let's say you're going to start RVing full time, you will have much better idea and knowledge of what you really want. Another thing is when you buy used, this can go both ways, but you do have the advantage of possibly knowing some of the problems that are wrong with the RV, so you can help negotiate a better price when buying it.
That's right. Let's use an example. Let's say you're buying a used RV and you go there and we're looking at the systems, and you put the awning out and you notice the awning's cracked, and you obviously couldn't hold back rain, and at some point you're going to have to replace that. So you can say, well, it's going to be about $400 minimum to replace that awning. So why don't we knock $400 off, and I'll take the RV today.
Just by being observant when you're doing your walkthrough, and you can find little things that might not be quite up to par, you can use that to your advantage to get the better price. And then with buying a used RV, you'll have a little bit of leftover money, so you can actually do things when you're camping.
That's right. Maybe even go to a theme park or camp more often.
Camp more often. That sounds good. So on the other side, let's talk about the cons of buying a used RV. So when you're buying a used RV, that requires you to have a lot of knowledge and research, so you know what you're getting into.
You do. It's going to require you to do a little research. Now, you're watching this video on whether to buy a new or used RV. You're the type of person, it's obvious, that doesn't mind doing a little research before they make their purchase. Being able to have the knowledge and confidence to be able to go to a third-party seller and say, yes, I need to look at this, or ask the correct questions, or be able to have the confidence to say, oh, this is going to take a minute. Let's see if that fridge works, and it may take 2 hours before that fridge actually cools down, but you don't want to spend that kind of money and drive off with an RV that one of the major systems isn't working on your RV.
Right. Now, even though when you go to purchase a used RV, you do all your research and you do all the checks and make sure this is working and this is working, there still may be some hidden problems that you don't see up front, even though you're looking at everything.
It really is, isn't it? There is some water damage, some structural damage, some things like that can occur, and that, as much research as you've done and as much as you've tried to learn, there'll still be hidden costs, and so you do run the risk of some large, expensive repairs.
The hidden repairs. So you also may need to do more repairs and more upgrades, and unless you did buy, if you bought new, those would all come with it, but by buying used, you may find you need to do some upgrades.
So that's right. If you buy a 7-year-old RV, that means those appliances that were in that RV are now also 7 years old. You've only got a certain number of years life on those appliances, so at some point those are going to break. That's just an example, but as they get older, everything wears and tears. Another
thing I found that was kind of interesting is that there are some private campgrounds that won't allow older RVs to go into them, believe it or not.
That's right. Now, most public campgrounds, government-run campgrounds like the National Forest Service, state parks, not those. These are private campgrounds, commercial campgrounds that are more catered to the luxury end, where I've heard 10 years old and 12 years old is the cutoff point where you can't use your trailers in those kind of campgrounds.
Yeah. But last of all, used RVs are just plain heavier. And especially when you get past, 10, 12, 14 years old, they were built much heavier than what they are now. So that's kind of a downside.
They are heavier, and that's a compromise. You need a stronger truck. You can carry less gear. It's a little more difficult to pull uphill. And so those are things just to consider.
Yeah.
So one of the things we wanted to do, and thank you for staying around till the end, is we thought it might be helpful if we walked you through our process on why we chose a used RV. So one of the first things we did is we had to have our type of RV that we needed was going to be a bumper pull. Mm-hmm. So we had the vehicles. We needed to pull it with the vehicles that we have. But when we go camping, our style is to go to a campground, for example, or even if we're boondocking, but detach the tow vehicle from the rig, and then be able to take that tow vehicle and get further back into the back roads and in the back country, and not have to, be able to just drive around in just the vehicle. Do some exploring. As we explore. It makes it just easier to do that, and while we leave the camper at the home base. Yes. So, we were patient enough to find a great third-party seller. Now, your relationship with your third-party seller, whether it be a dealer or a private third party, you establish that relationship. The better relationship you can have, the better your chances are of scoring a great RV in a used format. And so, we had a great relationship with ours. I just want to give a shout out to Janelle Hunsaker. We purchased our RV through her. She was a fabulous seller. She had given us all the records and the warranties and the things that had been fixed on the trailer. So the trailer came to us with a lot of knowledge. We knew what had been fixed, what was wrong. I mean, it was just excellent. And the relationship that we have now, even a couple weeks ago, we were out camping and we had a problem with the slide. Well, I just dialed her up and said, Janelle, what happens when this happens with the slide? And she goes, oh, you just do this. Just kind of those little quirks that they've already worked out for you. But I was able to get that fixed in an instant because of the relationship that we still have. And now we're actually pretty good friends. So it worked out to our advantage. Not to say that that will happen with everybody, but we were definitely fortunate enough to have found a great seller. Another reason we went with the used is we had planned. We had a fixed budget. We had a dollar amount that we had chosen, that we had set aside to purchase an RV. We weren't going to finance it. Whatever RV we decided we were going to get into, we had to be able to do it for X number of dollars. And so we also were aware that not only the X number of dollars that we were going to use to buy the trailer, we had to have a little bit set aside to buy the accessories to make the trailer work. So that's one of the reasons, because we could not find a new RV in the features and things that we liked, the size, that we could afford with that dollar amount. So that's why we had to go used. Yeah. Another thing is we were wanting to get into an RV sooner than later. So where we had the set amount of money set aside, we didn't want to say, well, let's save for the next year and try to get into this one. No, I wanted to go now. And that was really important to me, that we start this adventure. We get into what we can. We go out there, we learn about our RV, and we start the adventure now. That was really important. And even just, 6-8 months in, I am so glad that we chose to go that way. That's right. We started this decision-making process last season. It was when we finally decided, yes, that was what we were going to do. And so we used all winter long to really solidify it and get that RV. So it wasn't just overnight. We did take our time, but we needed to have that RV in place by this season. Right. And one thing, another thing that I have found is so helpful is we have used this RV as our trial. And I know we talked about this just a little bit before,
but it has been so beneficial to be out there actually camping and say, oh my gosh, we didn't really need that table, or why in the world do we have this where I thought maybe this was so important. When you're out there and using it, you really find out what you need, what you like, and what you don't, and that has been so good for us. So in the future, when we decide to go RVing full time, we'll know what we want.
That's exactly right. Another concern that we went with the used is 3 words. We have Murphy.
So Murphy, as you probably know, he's our Newfoundland. He's a big dog, and just the characteristics of a Newfoundland is they have a lot of hair and they have a lot of slobber. So, I didn't necessarily want to get into a nice, spraying, spanking new, clean RV that, I didn't want to have to worry about the dog hair and the slobber. And you can kind of relate if you have children, and children running in and out of the RV, and they've been playing out in the mud. And, our kind of camping is to actually use the trailer, and I wanted to feel okay about, if it gets dirty, no problem, we can always clean it. But having spent, if you were to have spent $100,000, you would be scared, I would be scared to do some of that stuff. So having one that's kind of new, having one that's kind of used and broken in, I have no worry about a little bit of dog hair, a little bit of slobber, and some of those other things.
So we did run into a limitation. There are certain limits of where we can take our trailer. So there are some backwoods areas, some off the beaten path areas. We just can't pull the trailer. So we'll still be camping maybe 10% of the time in tents, and we'll be using the 4-wheel drive truck to get into some of those locations. But that's okay, because 90% of the time we're so excited with this used RV purchase, because that trailer is going to cover us for a large majority of the camping we do.
Right, and by getting an RV, it has enabled us to extend our camping season. We can now easily camp in 30, and 30 below, not 30 below, but 30 and 20 degrees without a problem at all. It's comfortable, we can make it comfortable. I'm a lot happier. So all in all, buying this used RV for us has been wonderful, a wonderful experience. It's met all of our needs. So I hope maybe in this video, we've given you maybe some thoughts or ideas of when you go to purchase yours as to how you can maybe, eliminate some of those questions that you have before you go out and purchase it. Just, we are extremely happy with what we purchased and where we're going with it.
Yeah, it's great. We love the RV. So thank you for watching the show today. If you like the show, please hit that like button, give us a big thumbs up, and then make sure you hit the subscribe button down there. Subscribe to our channel, you'll be notified. And joining us next week with Let's Go Now Live, it'll be Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock. We'll see you then.
Okay, we'll see you next week. Thank you.